I have noticed that many people are beginning to love animals in our generation even more than fellow human beings. What is your take on this new trend?
It's understandable.
Okay.
It's understandable because, yes, it is understandable because to love a human being, you need either to be godly or you need to really understand the essence of love. Loving a human being demands that you sacrifice.
Yes, sir.
Loving a human being demands that you change. Loving a human being demands that you adapt.
Okay.
Loving a human being demands that you are patient.
Right.
You persevere. You endure. To love a human being means you cope up with people's capriciousness or excesses. But in that case, then it becomes understandable why people would rather go for animals and dogs. Because a dog will never oppose your views or opinion.
Right.
And a dog would probably never argue with you. So a dog presents to you a subject or an object to which you could take pleasure, seeing him running to come and run around you, and such that you could also command and not strive to please. Because when it's a woman or a man, you know people out there demanding what will please them. It has to be reciprocal.
Right.
But here it doesn't have to be reciprocal. Just throw some meat out for him. I don't know if you go. So, and then you can shout at that dog, you can abuse the dog, and it cannot talk back to you, at you, or respond to you. So to some extent, it's the same reason why people live, what do you call it, unconsummated relationship, or when they are not,
It's not consummated.
when they are unconsummated relationship, in the sense that you are living in adultery and you say you are married, for the same reason, because you can walk out anytime you want. You could easily walk out. I mean, I'm not obliged to you. You are not obliged to me.
Right.
So if we want to, so the same thing with the dog. So when the dog, I can say, let's go and walk. I need somebody to accompany me.
To follow.
It's to follow you. And then it doesn't say I cannot go. I don't have my own opinion. I have my own plan.
Wow.
It's about egocentrism. It's about selfishness. And that's why people want to express their selfishness to the utmost by trying to take as their companion an animal without a will, so that they will be able to actually fulfill and see the total expression of their ego.
Wow. Wow. What I just marvel at is the kind of wisdom you divulge in answering that question as though you had foreknowledge of the question.
You never ever tell
No,
me.
I've not even seen it. I'm just saying it myself. Wow. So, Pastor, is this something that should be done?
Is that practice?
Yeah, loving animals. Like, is this something that should be encouraged?
It is something that is being done by people that cannot afford to pay the price of loving a human.
And is that selfishness?
The high level of selfishness.
Okay.
Because to love a human demands to be non-selfish,
Yes, sir.
or less selfish, or more sacrificial.
Okay.
To love that animal demands less sacrifice.
Right.
And then it doesn't argue with your will. Whereby when you are dealing with man, you always need to compromise.
Yes, sir.
With that good dog, you don't need too much of compromise. So, is that something to be done? Well, the Bible said that we should love God as the ultimate commandment, and then love man.
Yeah.
So, our priority should be to love man, no matter how difficult it is, even though it's difficult for us, but that is what gives us the opportunity to improve ourselves and to change. When you need to cope with man, when you need to love man, when you need to cope with all their capriciousness and with all their instability, the stability in their character, in their expectations, and you still have to do that, go through that, you might be angry at times, you might be furious at times, you might be irritated at times, agitated at times. But it all leads to getting you to become a better person.
Right.
But when you want to go rather to love an animal, you want to remain the person you've always been. You want to remain yourself. It's called unconditional love. But with humans, it doesn't work out to have unconditional love. No unconditional love with human beings. If you love a man as a lady,
Yes,
of course, being a lady, any man will tell you that they cannot live without you, and they love you. But that's just half of the story, you see.
Right.
One half of the story.
Right.
There is always the second half of the story.
Yes, sir.
The second half of the story is that once you agree, once I've convinced you that I love you and that I will do everything for you, you buy into that. While I'm not mentioning to you that means you also need to do some things for me.
Yes, sir.
But once you accept, then you will hear the second part of that. Unconditional love.
Yeah.
It's just like saying you love somebody, you love the person so much, it doesn't matter who. If it's a human being, it's always conditional. Even if it's your child.
Right.
As much as you love your child,
Yes, sir.
and you do everything for her, you have some expectations.
Definitely, Pastor.
At least that child will obey you, or will grow up to be obedient, or to be a pride to you, to make you proud, or to be a good child, or to will look after you later. Those are conditions.
Yes, sir.
It might be unwritten or unspoken, but there are no unconditional love with humans. But when it comes to animal, you don't even need to discuss anything. You don't do any, only your will. My will or the I way. And so that's why people go for animal loving rather than human loving. They want to remain selfish, they want to remain egocentric, and they want to remain unchanging. So when next time anybody tells you that they want to love you unconditionally, tell them to get a dog.
Wow. There you have your answer. There you have your answer. Thank you so much, Pastor, for that wisdom. Thank you.
What do you call a pet? A pet?
A pet, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
tell them to go and get a pet.
To go and get a pet, then they can offer the unconditional love to the pet.
Yeah. No, they can get
Unconditional love from the pet, right? Without expectations. Wow.